Hey guys, let's talk a little bit about how you make a movie. One of the things you need when you make a movie is a camera operator, especially in a handheld film like Man of Steel, where the camera is being held by a person. It gives the movie that organic, sort of human, made by people feeling that the movie has.
Running down the stairs? It's a single take. It's one take. We run down the thing, I put the jacket on, he circles around, ends up in front of me somehow and back. I don't know how he does it. At some point, I had to stop keeping track of it because I was so concerned about messing up or falling down the stairs and ruining the shot. I just had to look at it in awe.
A guy I work with is a guy named John Clothier, who's worked on a lot of my movies, and he is a very nimble and versatile individual. And so given the task of chasing Lois Lane from her apartment to the street in a single shot, which was the way it was originally conceived. Of course, in the finished film, it's cut up a little bit, but you can see that a lot goes into making a movie, but a lot rides on the shoulders of someone like John.
FBI, hands up! Drop back, now!
Regarding the visitors themselves, we know very little at this point. According to government officials I've spoken to, the visitors do not represent a threat, despite the ominous tone of their message. Then, of course, there's the question on everyone's mind. Who is this Kal-El person? Does he actually exist? How could he have remained hidden from us for so long?
Hey guys, I'm back once again. This is actually the scene where I get bullied. And at the beginning of the scene, it's actually interesting to see that I'm reading Plato's Republic, which is a really in-depth, really serious, difficult to comprehend book. But the fact that this 13-year-old's reading it means that he's different early on. This whole scene really shows what Clark goes through in his younger years and what makes him who he is when he's older.
Come on!
This is really the scene where Clark and Jonathan really connect. Kevin was, so great to work with on set. It was such an honor to have such a legend to work with. And, he was giving me so much advice about acting and about how to own myself, which was really, really special to me. And especially in this scene, what flowed around a lot was the whole restraint. That was the most important thing whenever I'm up against the fence and I'm just completely furious, but I'm restraining myself not to hurt these kids because, if I do, I don't know how to control my powers completely. And that's something that Jonathan knows and that Kevin and I were talking about as ourselves before the scene. He wanted to hit that kid so bad and that Jonathan almost wanted him to, but then what? What would happen after that? There would be a lot of consequences.
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark, because whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's going to change the world.
What's on your mind?
Something that was talked about a lot throughout filming and behind the scenes was the fact that myself and Cooper Timberline, the 9-year-old version of Clark Kent, are really what's setting up this whole story and what makes Henry Cavill's Man of Steel who he is later in the movie. Zack and I and Zack and Cooper talked a lot about this and how really we are the backbone of the origin story. And it was really the fact that he has this whole struggle throughout the whole movie of who he is and what the right thing to do is. That's what really we all worked off of, which really made us alike.
As far as building from what Dylan did and the young Clarks did in general, and that relationship they built with their environment, he's lonely and he feels strange. And I think in that environment where he's been raised by Martha and Jonathan to never react in an aggressive, violent way, to the point of it being sort of such a key thing which they've raised him as, that instead it's manifested as a sense of loneliness and just being unaccepted. And so I carried that with me into the adult Cal. He feels he doesn't belong, and he doesn't know whether he should belong or not. And I think any kid who's been bullied feels that way, but it's just amplified by the fact that he really is powerless to do anything about it while having all the power to do everything about it.